Good day, everybody. Hello. Let me go with chat here. There we go. I'm on. All right. Kerry's here and James is here. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining. Um, and Zanka. Hello, Zanka. Thanks for joining. How's everybody doing? How's your week been? All the usual stuff. Psycat. Hello, hello. My guru. How you doing? Turner. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad everybody's here. Right, what we're doing today. I should do that so I can't see anything over there. Right. I actually want to pull up. No, wait, hold on. I'm going to pull the YouTube thing over here. There we go. That makes more sense. Right. James. Kerry has a conversation going there. Recovering from injury. Hope you're okay. Right, what's happening? What we're doing? What we're talking about? Anybody got anything interesting? The truth. Hello, hello. Do you have any recommendation for getting someone to not look into your business, especially if these people are big feeders on drama and gossip? There is actually some spirits you can work with, Goetia spirits. Um, Let me just try and figure out which ones they were again, because I don't really do it myself, but I think I can find it quite easily. Well, let's do that first, and then we'll go back to Psycat. Um, Spirits that will keep property hidden, secret, or invisible. All right, so let's have a look. Wasn't the one I was thinking of. It was Balaam that I'm thinking of. He grants the power of invisibility, but in practical work, this is used for concealment. So removing your possessions, actions, or yourself from the notice of others so that you pass unnoticed. So try that. I'll just put a. So we've got the same spirit. There you go, Balaam. The way you would use that in this. Why did it say my child? This translation thing on here is insane. Just hover over where it says my child, and you'll get Balaam. But yeah, the way you can really work with that is call on Balaam himself, explain the situation, ask for his help, and then you put your sigil or his sigil. What you could do is put his sigil over, if you've got a business card, for instance, kind of draw the sigil on there and say, and write their names on the other side maybe, and just, keep the business hidden from these people. Do something around those lines, I'd say. All right, so Kat asked the efficacy of PGM and your expectations with it, experiences with it, not expectations. So I do enjoy working spells from the PGM. I think it's because it's mostly the barbarous names I like to kind of get work up with and get into. Um, but I find them very useful. The difficulty you might find is that there's a lot of aspects, recipes, items required that you either can't get nowadays or might be illegal. You shouldn't be doing, you shouldn't be working with. There's certain practices like 2,000 years ago that you weren't against the law, but now they are, kind of stuff, that kind of thing. So you need to adjust here and there. Find substitutions, but good substitutions, not like ridiculous substitutions, which a lot of people tend to do. So that can actually be a little bit sticky sometimes, a little bit difficult, but you can get there. I do find them very good. I actually did a working in the PGM once, and just as I was setting up, there was a thunderstorm that came in, and I started doing the working, and every time I kind of like powerfully boom, like one of the barbarous names or something, the lightning would the thunder would go and the lightning would flash. So kind of this weather got into the rhythm of the working itself, and then I finished the working, and the storm went away and the sun came out. So I thought that was rather an interesting take on the whole thing. Uh, yeah, so it's interesting to do, but as I said, you just got to try and do workarounds of various things sometimes. Um, Luke's, hello, hello. A question I'm curious about your thoughts and advice. Yep, go ahead, ask the question. In the meantime, I'm just going to go to James. As a follow-up from about a month ago, I was going to create statues for a couple of goetic spirits and draw the spirits into them. I didn't make any, but some statues became available. Okay, was that it? Got the end of that. Okay, good stuff. Um, I thought you were going to carry on telling us how you then ensouled the spirits, or ensouled the statues. That would have been interesting. Castle, hello. Thanks for joining. From Kerry Lee, are we weird workers, masters and mistresses of our fate? Yes, I believe we are. That's why we are magicians, and that's why we do this. The whole idea is to overcome fate. Um, how you understand fate and things like that can be a rather interesting uh, um, avenue to go down. And everybody differs. Some people are serious hard fatalists, other people aren't. But mostly, I think what you'll find people who are in, I'd say seriously into witchcraft, and traditional witchcraft, folk magic, those avenues, they tend to be more on the fate side of things, understanding that things unravel in a particular way, and we don't always have a say in it. But because we have magic, we can steer the way the direction we're going. We can't change it totally. We can't. It's I've got the living current that's coming up in August is actually about fate. And the way I explain it is kind of standing on the riverbank and watching the river go by, and you can throw a rock in, which then affects the flow of the river. The way I often explain it is again coming back to a river analogy. So the river is the current of life. That's how life is flowing, and you're in a boat. Okay. Now you're going down the river. You can steer the boat and change its direction and its course slightly, right? So you can do this with the boat. What you can't do is do a 90 degree angle and go straight for the shore, or try and make the boat move upstream, because then it's just going to throw you and the boat over, and your life's going to become complete turmoil. So we have fate, which is the river, and that's the current that we're flowing through, and we just steer. We change it here and there. If we're not moving, we're not using magic, then we would just sit in the boat, and it would take us through life. Really, yeah. Right. So Luke's said, during connection with beings and deities, I feel like my connection field, it's like a big broadcast radio. It's so easy to receive from their side, but since it's so massive, some things might not come. How would you balance this? Um, well, you would tune the radio into the station that you want. I mean, you've used the analogy of a radio, and I think it's actually fantastic, and I think it answers your question actually. Think of a radio, you've got various different wavelengths, bands or whatever they're called, FM, frequency modulation, low modulation, etc., etc., etc. So you kind of get yourself onto the modulation, the frequency that you want to be on, and then you start tuning the radio, and you tune it into a particular station. The stations would be the spirits. So instead of kind of like receiving broadcasts or radio waves from all of the different spirits and the cosmos itself, you fine tune it into one, and you then pinpoint it. This can actually be, we could actually look at the triangle of art or the triangle of manifestation as being a similar kind of thing. So whereas a lot of people erroneously consider the triangle of art within the Solomonic magic, Oscar specifically, to be a trap, it's actually a focal point. What you're doing is the corners, the points of the 3 points of the triangle, or three angles, creating tension. That tension pushes the energy into the center, and it creates a focal point for the spirit to come through. And that's kind of like tuning the radio. You're taking this broad band of various different radio waves, and you're kind of fine tuning it and tuning it into one radio wave that you can then communicate with. So it's about tuning the radio, you know, finding the right station. Uh, James said to Psycho, there is a spell in PGM, it's 10, I think, that allows for substitutions by convincing an object that it is something that can be used in the ritual. I have heard that, and I've never actually gone and checked on it, so that's very interesting. I like that. Um, but yeah, that makes sense. Kind of like taking something which is similar and convincing it that it is the object in the ritual. Yeah, that's really interesting, actually. James also said, sorry, another thought distracted me. No problem. They do that to me all the time. I used an adapted opening of the mouth ritual from the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Murmur was very easy to imbue, kind of like he was helping from his end. You'll find that if you've got a good connection with the spirit, you'll find that they'll kind of like help you with particular ritual formats, because they also want better communication. They want to come across and tell you the message, but in order to tell you the message, you have to get to that point where you can receive the message. So quite often they will actually help in those kind of regards. Psycat, many people use PGM for love spells. Yeah, it's one of the main go-tos, I think. Someone I know used the dead. Yep, I've used that one. To target someone, didn't work out. I will check it out. Yeah, it's probably the most, I'd say, famous love spell in the PGM, and you'll find that all those old love spells are curses. You are basically calling on the dead or other spirits to haunt the person's mind and terrify them, and basically, until they actually come to you, you terrorize them. It's the most stupidest thing in the world, but that's ancient magic for you. And that's really what we do nowadays. But I just don't think people actually realize it. But yeah. Jersey's here. Hello, Jersey. How are you doing? The Truth said Balaam is a great spirit. Haven't really worked with him for things about being or remaining hidden. Yeah, it seems that it would be good. When you actually mentioned, I think it was you that mentioned hiding. Yeah, it was hiding stuff from a particular person regarding your business. When you actually mentioned that, I remember talking about it in one of the Demons of the Week. So yeah, it was definitely that one. Sabnock is also probably a good one. It's more of a protection and ward of your home and possessions. What you're really looking for is something where you are hiding. You're making something invisible from somebody else. And Balam would be great for that. Kerry, Lee, I consider myself highly authority, my highest authority, and always learning. But unlike a Satanist, do not worship myself. I bow to none, but consider spirit powerful allies. I am a witch, alone in power. Good statement. Very good statement. Luke said, "Thank you. I'm trying to find a way to how to improve this with this. It's yeah, Luke says about it's also about just practice. You know, practice, practice, practice. Record your results. You might find that you get a breakthrough all of a sudden, and then you do the same thing and nothing happens. So you can go back to your notes and you can check what actually, the circumstances were at the time. It could be something completely random that you didn't actually think about or pick up, but keep your records. Very important. Journal, journal, journal. Del Wizard, hello, hello. Have you heard of Amsaria? Amsaria. Why does that ring? It rings a bell, but no, can't think of it. Maybe it's just one of those names that have that kind of rolls off your tongue. Um, well, the only right, hang on. I can only find two. Oh, wait. I found out about the spirit from a book called Summoning Spirits by Constantinos. I have not. I've read the book. If this is a book, the only source that it comes from, I've read the book, but I don't remember. That was a long time ago, though. It could be one of those that popped up out of thin air, or it's somebody just kind of created. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Um, Angelo, hello. What do you think about Barden book initiation into Hermetics? Do you think it really helps excel the occult higher level? So it's a great book. It's a great book to learn about magic, and not just hermetics, just general magic in general. Um, it's an extremely difficult book to follow the exercises verbatim. It starts off okay, you kind of like doing the exercises daily, and then you have to keep adding more and more and more and more. By the time you get to like the fifth or sixth set of exercises, you you're consuming about an hour or two a day, just trying to do the exercises, and then eventually it becomes you end up doing like 4 or 5 hours a day of exercises if you actually were to follow it religiously, which is ridiculous. You can't do that and operate in a normal life. So, but it is very good to get to understand a lot of magical principles. It's very good to um, learn about particular practices, like fluid condensers, for instance, how to actually create a fluid condenser. It's all explained in there, and it's explained really well, and it's brilliant. And things like his black and white or light and dark mirror, which is actually shadow work. But I like it because he understands Jungian shadow work, because it's not just about the dark stuff that we the evil stuff and the dark stuff that we don't want to think about ourselves. It's also got to do with the light stuff. So when you get to all the things that you like about yourself, your ego starts to get a real big boost, and you become this real egotistical asshole, and you realize how positive things can make you an asshole at the same time as negative things. So it's all about dealing with the light and dark and finding those balances and actually bringing all of those things out, so that we can deal with them, so we can be them because they are us. We shouldn't be hiding them from ourselves. But anyway, let's go on and on and on. Yeah, great book to work with and understand various principles of magic. Um, Castle, we had a good drum ceremony yesterday, healed a lot of people. I brought rebalance to some people. We had to do some spirit work on them. Good stuff, like it. Yeah. Um, Psych out. I wonder what makes that spell work or not work, since it didn't work out for the person. Could be long distance, or because the person is famous, or because of the use of grave dirt, not visiting grave. There's a lot of reasons why it might not work. Um, there are a ton of reasons why any spell might not work. To be honest with you, so can't really say. Again, it would come down to keeping records, experimenting, and finding out what worked and what didn't work from the actual spell itself. Um, Angelo's, sorry, spelling errors. No, don't worry. I think we got through it all right. If there was anything I didn't understand or miss, just let me know. Luke's exactly. I'm trying every day. I feel like it's one big mystery how it works in my case. I wish I could reach full potential and fully enjoy this. You can. You can. You just got to keep doing it. That's really, that's unfortunately it's the only way to do this is just keep practicing. Um, you know, and become. It's the same with anything. I love I've got a good friend who tends to bring the analogy of going to a gym in this regard. You go to the gym and you work out, but you can't expect to be at the same level as the dude who's like, you know, really packed and everything else. And he's like bench pressing 200 pounds or whatever. I don't go to gym, so I don't know if that's a lot or not. But you know what I mean. You gotta get there. You gotta work. You gotta keep going and keep progressing. You can't just jump from one to the next. So just keep at it. You'll get there. Alexis W. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining. Um, and Alexis T's here also. According to your experience, is it true that Lucifer always deters the sorcerer from harming others through magic? If so, does this mean he acts more like an angel rather than a demon? I've never heard that before, to be honest with you, and not my experience at all. Quite frankly, I don't think Lucifer would give a continental whether you harm somebody with magic or not. It's not really, his or her or their monkey, to be honest. there, yeah. Spirits generally don't give a crap what we do. Yeah. Um, Andrea, hello, hello. Thanks for joining. Um, yeah, Alexis T said it's funny how both Alexis T and Alexis W joined the chat simultaneously. I saw that myself. Yeah, you guys are in sync now. Right. I wanted to actually show you guys my latest drawing. Let's see if I can grab it because I finished it yesterday, last night. Ugh. Here's my latest drawing. It's the forest god. There you go. I think I showed you. Let me try and get it all level and stuff. I think I showed you guys a while back. But the sigil, hang on, the sigil on his chest is actually the sigil from my Meet the Devil course. And I've put a sigil over here on this standing stone, which is actually one of the ones from Heka and their latest album. I did email them. I emailed Six just to check this. It's cool that I can do that. Oops. Um, and if it is, then I'll upload it tomorrow to Redbubble. Hold on, I've got wires and everything down here. Bloody hell. Ugh. Right. Where am I? I've lost my place. Um, James said of the back of on the back of that loose question, does anyone else get a distinctly androgynous? Oh yes, absolutely. Lucifer is known as to be a shapeshifter, and I've mentioned this before. I mean, when I started working with Lucifer, or the principle, the idea of Lucifer, it was very much from a traditional witchcraft perspective, where it was the horn man with the flame betwixt the horns, which also alluded to what's his name? It's a biblical character. Is it John the Baptist, I think, who carries Christ on his shoulders across a river. So it was kind of alluding to the two horns being the balance between the polarities, and then the flame betwixt the horns is the knowledge, the gnosis, and the Christ child was the representation of that gnosis that Lucifer brings. So that kind of imagery has always stuck with me quite a lot, and that's worked with that from a masculine perspective. But then past several years, for some reason, Lucifer has changed for me and has become more of a feminine figure. I call her Lady Lucifer. And but Lucifer's a shapeshifter, definitely androgynous. I mean, none of the spirits are actually genders. They're not, they're not masculine and feminine and like we are, or intersex or anything like that. They're just balls of energy. So very different, but they we either give them a gender or they come through as kind of like more masculine or more feminine or more androgynous or more this or that or whatever it is. Um, Depending on what we're doing, how we're dealing with them and things like that. But yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Right. Oh, let's take a look at the drawing. Kerry Belial has taken an interest in my health. He's got me watching my calorie intake and has me lifting weights. Cool. Yeah, that sounds like something Belial would do. Jersey, that's awesome. Thank you very much. Right, James, Alexis, can you draw that? Yes, I'll do that. That's not a photo. Yeah, thank you very much. Andrea, fantastic. Angela, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bookie Master. Alexis, indeed, it's really good. The shadows, symbolism, amazing. Thanks very much. Yeah. My next piece is actually, I was thinking about it today. It's going to be Baphomet in between posing. Because you know Baphomet's always like, that in that one pose. I'm gonna have them posing like leg up and leg down, and then arms around the leg, and just in between poses. But it's going to be a bit more no, a bit more anatomically correct. So it is going to be very phallic, not that, not the caduceus that's kind of replaced the penis. It's going to have a penis and it's going to have boobs. So yes, we don't shy away from things like that here. Right. Um, I haven't really got anything to talk about. Unless, I mean, the biggest thing from me is the Goetia masterclass that's available for booking. Oh, Andrea said, I'm just checking on Miss Tibbs. I'm playing midwife today. Oh, congratulations. You have some. Is that the kittens? The kittens coming through. You're creating me. This is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I must say, I am actually very happy I've gotten back into my drawing. It's been a very, 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 very long time. It's been years. Yes, again. More kittens. Hmm. Alexis, great. Means Lucifer. Trust you can work with him any form and that you look beyond genders and preconceptions. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Um, and I think that's why, personally, I think that's one of the reasons Lucifer becomes so important. Is that we, and this is why I always think that Lucifer is very much kind of the devil in that regards, because the devil encompasses so many different things. It's a collection of entities and ideas and concepts, not just a singular. And I think that's why the devil is so important. Anyway, the truth said, well, my guides are putting me through a lot of major changes, but I don't really think I can speak much about them yet, which is why I'm quite quiet today. No problem, no problem. We've got to, we have to bear in mind the witch's pyramid. To keep silent is a very important thing, and we all understand that. Alexis feels strange and doubt who's that woman. Hey? Sorry, I lost you with that one. Lost you with that one. Um, Andrea said Inky and Sparks are staying, but Tibbs got out accidentally 45 minutes and the deed was done. Yeah. Okay, that would happen. Alexis, curious up for you. It seems working with Belial has brought much positivity. Yeah. Angelo, do you think traditional witchcraft has as much structure as Gardnerian does in its rituals? Yeah. Yes and no. I'm going to say that. Yes and no. What you'll find is that if you're working in a coven, or in a group of some kind within traditional witchcraft, you're going to have your structure. Yeah. Because the group has to work together. And so you're going to have your rituals and they're going to be very specific. And it's what the group does. But when you start individually working in traditional witchcraft, and you'll probably find this is the same with initiatory Wicca as well. Once each person starts working individually, things change. Um, and then, yeah, no, actually, tell you the truth, it's probably the same thing. Group workings, you're going to have your structure. Individually, you're going to start developing things by yourself in different directions, which makes every Wiccan or witch, individual and different, and the way they work things, the way they do things within rituals. Um, and when you come to trying to learn those things, books can only take you a certain distance, and then it becomes completely experiential. But at the same time, you need a teacher who can like tell you, you know, here's what you do. Um, Now put it into action. But if you haven't got your foundations, you don't know how to put it into action. So it becomes kind of a bit sticky there. But yeah, I don't think when it comes to initiatory Wicca and traditional witchcraft, you probably find it's similar. The rituals are different, obviously, but the structures are similar. Um, Alexis T. Okay, so maybe Lucifer can also be called Lucy. Yeah, a lot of people like to call Lucifer Lucy. I've heard that if you ask his opinion on whether you should cast a spell on someone, he will most likely suggest a more compromising approach. I think you might find that that's just somebody who's trying to moralize the spirits. And it's usually because they don't want to take on the responsibilities themselves, and therefore they give those responsibilities to others, which is a very Christian thing to do. And a lot of people who come through to paganism and stuff still hold a lot of Christian worldview. It's natural, especially if you come from a Christian background. You're gonna it's ingrained in you. You're going to carry on. So that's why we continue to deprogram ourselves from Christianity over and over for years and years and years. Not an easy thing to do, and definitely not an overnight thing. But you'll probably find it's just moralizing that's been given to the spirit because they don't want to take on responsibilities themselves. Um, but the spirits wouldn't couldn't give a continental. Alexis, at truth, much love and power to you. We will be patient and let you decide when to share news. Absolutely, yes. Kerry, Alexis, at Alexis W. All of my advocacy projects are on hold. Murmur and Agaras are waiting patiently for me. Yeah, you got to get your health back. Don't worry, it'll all be there. Um, Alexis W, Alexis T. That's interesting about Lucifer. The truth, Alexis W. Thanks. I'm happy that Belial is bringing you a lot of positive changes. Um, I haven't worked with him, but he has given me some of his wisdom in the past. Angela said, thank you. It's a pleasure. Pleasure. Kerry Alexis W. Member is how to standardize brain death testing and Nagara's aids with restoring an insanity defense in my state. Alexis W. Yes, that's true. I still work on reprogramming my subconscious from Christian beliefs. Yeah, yeah, we all do. We all do. And we live in a Christian, well, most of us anyway, we live in a Christian society, so it's always there, pushing away and punching away. But yeah, I wouldn't say that Lucifer or any other spirits um, are going to suggest that you do it a different way. Because, if you're going to curse somebody and they deserve it, fucking curse them. You know? Um, that too, society plays a role. Yeah, yeah. Society is always a pain in the arse in some way or another. I don't know who's watching the History and Heads show. I'm quite enjoying that actually. Let's actually see if it's picking up because it is a live show and it does seem to not get as much traction. I thought it would, but it doesn't seem to be getting as many views. But I'm really enjoying it. I think it's cool. It's fun. Um, Kerry said it, Alexis W. I learned that in the US, hospitals, medical staff are not using American Academy of Neurology protocols for brain death testing, and we have approved organ donors for procurement. Okay. Oh, content. And there is more coming. Oops. James said, Alexis T. I found Lucifer to be very reasonable. Lucifer has given me a nudge sometimes to think before I do a cursing. Might just be a me thing, as I can be a vindictive ass sometimes. Anything wrong with that? The person deserves it. So, uh, yes, views aren't that bad, I suppose. But yeah, no, I've been enjoying this Hedge and History show. So we did, for anybody who hasn't been following it, I did the Cunning Folk as the first episode, and then I spoke about Moonwater, which I thought was actually very important. Um, then the Pillars of Cornwall's last week, and this next week I'm going to be doing The Devil in the Craft. And I'm going to actually examine it from different angles, the Christian angle, the kind of like mockery that the devil became within the witch trials, and then folkloric devil. Um, yeah, but this is kind of trying to keep it in that folk magic, folk witchcraft framework, rather than taking it outside that framework. Oh, sorry, Kerry also said, and we have approved organ donors for procurement that are still alive. I'm working to standardize AAN protocols nationwide so that patients are dead before undergoing procurement. Right. At James, at me. I think I tend to go straight to the nuclear option, which tends to become a negative behavioral spiral for me. Blame it on the Mars in my chart and maybe some Napoleon syndrome. Yeah, and I'm still going to give you the same response. If they deserve it, they deserve it. Um, Andrew Kerry, that's why I avoid being in hospital. I think that's why many of us avoid going to the doctor as well. Yeah. Andrea says that she's related to Napoleon. Right, so Alexis and Kerry are talking about that. Okay. Alexis T said, at James exactly. Thank you for confirming. I asked the AI what happens if a wizard uses a walking cane instead of a wand. Gave me some interesting and funny answers. I'd love to hear that. That would be quite interesting. Um, Alexis, where do you watch that show you mentioned? Oh, it's one I do. And where can we see all your artworks? So the Hedge and History is one that I do every Thursday. It's live at 5 p.m. GMT. But let me put the link to the show playlist here. You can watch the previous three. Um, get shareable link. There we go. So there's the Hedge and History. And then my Redbubble. I haven't logged into this in a long time. I hate these bright screens. Dazzle me. At least they give me a bit more light, I suppose. We'll get there eventually, don't worry. Oh, hang on. Oh, it's still loading. It's gone very quiet. It's gone very quiet. We actually had a dip in the people that were here. All of a sudden, a load of people just disappeared. James going to dip out. Okay. Have a good time at gym. Flex those muscles. Turner, I wish I could join you all for the live, but it's in the middle of the day in the US. Still enjoy them. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the unfortunate thing. All right, yeah, you go check on Tibbs. James, have a good weekend or good week. Be safe. It's just not loading, is it? We will get to the Redbubble page just now. Don't you fear. Actually, just refresh this because it's ridiculous. Okay, let's try this. Come on. You can do it. when you have to coax your computer to do things. Um, Still watching but not able to chat for a few minutes. Don't worry, that's fine. Turner, how would you banish someone from a workplace? Get them a better job somewhere else, somewhere very, very far away from you. Um, just make it an appealing job that's something they want and get rid of them. So it is the one of probably the easiest and probably the only way to get somebody out of the workplace or get them fired if they. But then you got to try and figure out what you can use against them and all of that stuff, and then you got to try and bring it into the truth, into the light, and then everybody has to hum and haw about it. It's a process. So really, the easiest way is get them a better job. They don't work with me as a customer. Oh, um, make them prefer a different company. So they go to a different company and they don't bother you anymore. It really is that kind of direction that you want to go in with that. Okay. People kind of find it a bit weird when I say it, how do I get rid of somebody in the workplace? And everybody's like, oh, curse them, and I say bless them with a better job in a different country, and you'll get rid of them. And everyone's like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to bless the person. Well, then you're not going to get rid of the person, you know? Oh, wait, hang on. Here we go. I think I got the red bubble shop. Here we go. Shop. Ta-da! Okay, here's the red bubble. I'm just going to put here red bubble so that we know what it is. There's the link. There's to my art. Let's change that cover picture actually. It doesn't look very good like that. Anyway, okay. But yeah, that's what I'd do. Okay, Lee, I'm a retired surgical tech. Saw organ donor patients crying when they wheeled them in. They told me it was reflexes. What? Sorry, what was reflexes? I've lost something. I've lost something in the conversation here. No, let me know what you mean by they told you that it was reflexes. Alexis W, this is great. If you use benevolent tactic and not by force, they will happily leave. Usually, yeah. Make something else more appealing, and therefore they're going to shift their attention towards that and forget about you. It's that kind of approach. Alexis at Kerry, who's the real devil? Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah. Alexis T. It said the walking cane might concentrate more magic power due to its bulk. The wizard can use it if they have kinetic problems. It can be used as a melee weapon. Um, it passes unnoticed compared to wand. There is that. You can walk around with a staff or a walking stick. But yeah. See, a walking stick's better if you want to like um, drag it. Plowing Bloody Acre, for instance, you kind of like walk around in a circle and you drag the walking stick, or it can be a stang or a staff, whatever, but sometimes a walking stick, and you kind of limp at the same time, and it's reminiscent of what's it called, the lame god. But it was I'm thinking of a different name, a specific name. Can't think of it now. But it's the lame god, who kind of like limps along with the walking stick, drags the walking stick and creates the space that you're going to work in for the compass round. Um, you, I think ceremonial magic they sometimes do that, but quite often they'll use a dagger rather than a wand for that purpose to actually define the space itself. But it's not the same aesthetic, I don't think. Uh, Thanks for the links. It's a pleasure. Layer 9 Abstraction, welcome. Would a similar strategy apply to annoying neighbors, getting them another place to live? It can do, but what becomes sometimes difficult there is if they are renting or they are owning. If they're renting, I'm sure it's different for other countries, but it might be the same. I know here, if you rent, you usually sign a lease for like a year. If you move during that year, and you haven't completed the period of the lease, and they can't find somebody to move into the place, then you have to actually continue paying the rent plus the rent of the new place. So you're paying double rent at the end of the day. So it kind of prevents people from kind of uh, pulling out of the lease too early. So trying to hotfoot somebody or trying to get them to move when they've got a year's lease is very difficult. What you'll probably find is you hotfoot them to get rid of them. Once the lease is up, they'll go. They won't renew the lease. So there's that at least. But if they own, it's a bit easier. At the same time, not because they're probably attached to the house. So that becomes, okay, a bit difficult. Um, but yeah, in that case, I would really go for something like foot trap magic. Um, you know, get them to not want to be there and therefore make it uncomfortable for them and they then want to move because unless you do actually, if depending on what work they do, there's a whole lot of factors that come into this specific one. But if they do work which they can has like they work for a company that has a branch overseas, for instance, or in a different part of the country, you know, see if you know them well enough that you can kind of push them in like this direction of getting another job in another area, then they're going to leave. They're going to move from where they are living. So there's that. But yeah, as I say, several elements which make it a little bit more difficult actually. Kerry said, Alexis W, I'm at peace now, trying to protect the patients. Turner, regarding blessing troublesome co-workers, I have done that with alarming success many times. It really works to solve many problems. Cool. Glad you're using it. Uh, as I said, I actually suggested it on a group once, but it was one of those groups where everybody's like talking. It was really a group about curses. And then I come along and say, "Oh, just bless them rather." It was just laid into me. But yeah, it works much better. Castle, just be a mirror and let all the energy hit them back. What I've done for many years with troubled people that are like that. Yeah, it can work, but it's usually just a constant battle at the end of the day. Carriot Turner, I'm a Turner, maiden name. There you go. Turner's a double Turner. Turner Turner. Layer 9, thanks for the detailed response. I'll do foot track. Yeah, it's probably the easiest in that regard. Turner, very nice. Alexis W. Same in Bulgaria. They always sign for 1 year to rent minimum. But if you negotiate and there's a good reason, it can work out. Yeah, you can negotiate sometimes, but yeah, not all the time. I've known people who have moved early and the owners just couldn't get somebody else to rent, and they just had to keep paying. Yeah, very difficult. Twice the Turner. Mm. Now, if you tell me your name's Tina, that's just gonna throw everything over the edge. Mm. Kasim, hello. Good to see you also. I wanted to ask you, but what is your spiritual opinion of Urania? Oh God, God. Oh, touching on very touchy subjects here. I was once there many years ago on a visit, and it had a very dark energy. Urania is the most racist, white supremacist places in South Africa because it is white-owned town. Or I think it's a city actually now. Um, yeah, no, it's extremely racist. It really is. I mean, black, well, black, Indian, any color besides white are not allowed in there unless they have a particular day pass to get in. Um, yeah, no, that's very bad place. Extremely bad place. Yeah, right. Moving on from there. Kerry. Um, Yeah, Turner, be the center of your universe, of which alone, standing in your own power, choose who gets your attention. Turner grew up in the 80s, 90s. Everyone always asked me if my name was Tina. Shame. I'm sorry, I really am. Oh, that must have been a nightmare. Alexis, I wonder about ways to protect oneself from external but not negative, just neutral energies, people. Um, because they might not be ill-intended, but still, just warding generally. It's your foundational 101 stuff, to be honest. You're gonna have your wards up, your general wards up. You're going to be doing your cleansing work. All the foundational 101 stuff that you do in that regard is the only thing that really keeps that at bay. Um, you know, just walking around on any day, going to the shopping center and the shopping mall, walking around and interacting with people. You don't even have to talk to them. You just need to walk past them or brush your shoulder against them or something like that. You're going to pick up energies left, right, and center. They're all floating around and whatnot. So it's just one of those things that we deal with on a general day-to-day basis, really. Um, it said, Kerry well said, attention is the real currency. Kasim, so what you're saying is that the dark energy I felt was the racism and hatred from the town. I would say yes, absolutely. It felt like being in a huge ball of black energy. Yeah, they're just they're they're just racist people, and racist people are not nice people. Um, you know, they are full of negativity and hatred. I mean, sheer hatred. So it's definitely going to be dark black balls of energy and icky, sticky, gross, crappy, horrible stuff. Yeah. Zenko Hotfoot powder, which is more effective? A generic powder made by an experienced practitioner and bought in a store, or a homemade powder specifically designed to deal with horrible neighbors, even if you're a beginner at hoodoo. I would say your own powders. Um, just want to check. I think Hotfoot powder is specific. The name, anyway, is specific to hoodoo. So probably shouldn't be using that because it is appropriation. Um, but foot track magic isn't is quite widespread. Um, yeah, okay. So we probably shouldn't be using hotfoot, the term anyway. But just lay some stuff in the foot in their foot tracks or across their threshold that is repellent. But I would say your own because you're holding a specific intention and you are pushing your will into the making of that particular thing. Um, so yeah, I would say your own. Carry out Zanka Blackfoot powder on the threshold, black pepper, cayenne pepper. All of the hot and comfortable stuff. It's a pleasure. Yeah, there are some other equivalents you can actually look at. Nail in the footprint. So if the person has kind of stepped out their house and left a footprint behind, then you go nail the footprint. Um, which makes it's said to make their feet sore, so they'll move. What else we got here? It's a bit of a difficult one. Um, yeah, hiding leather shoes inside the walls, under the floorboards of a house, also a bit difficult. Um, but herbs you can use as well: stinging nettle, asafoetida, known as devil's dung, which is European folk magic. Hold on, there's a salt and broom technique. I haven't heard of this one. Here we go. If a disruptive person or bad neighbor left your home, oh, this is after they leave your home. Okay. The immediate remedy was to take a traditional straw broom. Oh, this. Okay. Straw broom, sweep backwards toward the door and throw a handful of salt or pepper over your shoulder. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Heard of that one. Yes. Um, yeah, so get rid of them so they don't come back into your house. All right. Sorry, carrying on. Let's see. Because if I was to describe the energy, you know how the Christian hell of fire and brimstone would feel. That is exactly what it was. Avoid this. I would agree absolutely on yeah, totally, 100%. Andrea, assume it sounds horrendous. Yes, it is exactly. Yeah, yeah. Horrible people, horrible place. Guess what I feel from unbalanced witches. Yeah, except then take that on 10 different levels up. Really. Ugh, yeah. I mean, all you have to do is just have a look for Aranya start on Google. Anyway, you know the funniest thing about that whole Aranya argument thing was because people are like, why don't you have to make your own town, your own city? Um, it really is for Afrikaans people to keep out black people. That really is the basis of it. And there's been questions of why do you need your own city? And one of the arguments was always because black people have their own townships. It's like the stupidest argument you could ever come up with. Because the black people are oppressed, they are forced into townships. They're not by the white people to begin with, and then the white people have to go and make their own little city. It's like you stupid, stupid, stupid people. get a brain or get off of fucking Earth. Seriously, sorry, going to go off on a tangent. I'm going to now come back to the chat. Right, Kerry. I'm often of an indifferent mind, typically prefer to let the target learn their lesson from undue influence. Yeah, you can do that. As I said, it's usually one of those things you have to keep digging at. You have to keep pushing and you know, constantly working at over and over and over and over and over again. And if it's there is that aspect of you want the person to learn their lesson, right? Absolutely, no problem there. But if somebody is becoming such a pain in the arse that really you just want to get rid of them so that you can bring your life back to some kind of peace, then just get rid of them as quickly as possible. And making them learn their lesson that could take years and years and years is not going to help you in the long run. You're just gonna go through more and more trauma. So it can get to the point where blessing them with something that will take them far away from you to another country, hopefully, is sometimes the better choice. Um, Castle true, I can handle that as long as I got my protection up. It won't bother me. Yeah, that's how it should be. Andrew, 110% agree. Racists tend to be absolute fuckwits. They do indeed. Castle, that person got to do something really bad to me or something for me to curse them. I don't find any joy in it like I did when I started doing magic. No. I never actually, I don't really curse. I don't remember the last time I did a curse, actually, to be honest with you. Don't think anybody's really given me reason to. And it does have to be something very serious. And when I say curse, yeah, no, it's not a good outcome at all. Um, but yeah, um, usually the person died of a curse, death magic. Yeah, isn't that the difference between? I've always wondered. I think this is one that part of the terminology that changes for everybody. It's different. Difference between curse, hex, and what's the other one? Curse, hex. There's another third one, I'm sure. Oh, I'm thinking jinx. That's probably a hoodoo term again. Um, let's see if there is actually a difference between them. Hex and curse. Oops, if I can spell. There we go. Bind. There's bind. But I wouldn't. You see, this is the problem with. Hi, Shanna. Hi. Thanks for joining. This is the problem with the actual word bind and binding is that, at least in my understanding, that is actually used for somebody you actually love. When you bind somebody to do no harm to themselves or to others, um, it's because you love them and you don't want them to harm themselves. So therefore, you actually bind them to stop them from harming themselves. You are the one who's responsible for them from that point on. So I wouldn't bind somebody or an enemy or somebody I don't like because I don't want them bound to me. Because when you do a binding, you bind them to you. You've got no choice there. So, um, yeah, I'm not sure binding would actually fit into this realm. Well, let's have a look here. Hex definition: a focused, targeted magical act meant to cause localized annoyance, minor misfortune, or temporary discomfort. The curse definition is a severe, deeply heavy invocation of destruction, intent, meant to cause major long-term harm, suffering, or ruin. Okay, yeah, I think that's kind of the difference, how I understand it anyway. So a curse would be something severe, like disabling them or death magic, death curse, whatever. Whereas a hex is more about, giving them diarrhea for a week or something like that. Just an inconvenience. Um, where am I now? Castle, it tends to go several generations from what I've seen when I do it. Crossing, there is crossing, but I think crossing is also a hoodoo term. It's actually amazing how many terms that we use in our magic in modern occultism that have come out of hoodoo, and we don't actually realize it a lot of the time. Um, is crossings. Yep, crossing is specifically a hoodoo term. And we just kind of adapted them or adopted them without thinking. So, gotta reprogram ourselves. Um, Carrie, and Shana said it is absolutely themselves or others. Castle, I don't like buying people, reminds me of love magic. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Alexis always thought binding as to prevent or stop someone doing something evil, harmful, and not to protect someone you love from harming themselves. I got it. Thanks for uh, mentioning the difference between hex and curse. Yeah, yeah. No, binding is definitely, or should be anyway. That's kind of what it always has been or used to be. Is you are you're binding them from harming themselves, and you would only do that because you love the person. You know, if it's an enemy, who's somebody you don't like, they can go harm themselves all they want to, as long as they're not harming other people. But it is themselves and other people usually. Jahed, hello. Um, right. Uh, Time to adjust your seating position. All right. Jahed, quite good. Just feel stuck in life and don't know where to go. How are you? Yeah, seems. Well, we've got Saturn retrograde at the moment, which means something or other in that regards. Alexis T. I find cursing a bit unsophisticated. Let's say you curse someone and they die. Then another one will appear and the list goes on. Much more sensible to make them more compatible to you through magic. Yeah, great way to look at it. Yeah. Um, See if you can use them in some way. Why not? Yeah. Seeing there's lots of new people here, I'm going to show you my picture again because I'm very proud of my picture. As if I can get around all the cables and stuff. Here you go. I drew it, yes, finished it yesterday. Hold on, there we go. Get it all level. It's pretty. That's my latest picture. Cool, hey, this is definitely one of my favorites. That's why I'm showing it off so much. Right, let me try and get that back down there now without breaking everything. There we go. Ooh, can giving offerings have an effect even though I don't have astral senses or magical abilities? Yeah, yeah. Don't need to have any psychic senses active to give offerings. You're not the one taking the offering, so all you're doing is giving the offering. It's like giving somebody a plate of food and then walking away. You don't know if they ate it or not. It's up to them to eat it. But you've made the offering, so that's really all it is. The truth. That's an awesome drawing. Thank you. Came out fantastic. Yeah, really loved it. Really did. Um, so Alex is better than feeding them to astral parasites. Pastor, hello. It takes all my energy to conjure myself out of bed in the morning, let alone conjure the devil. I like that. Yeah. Alexis W and Alexis T. Um, isn't this like changing their core being and beliefs? What do you mean to make them compatible to you? Yeah, go on, you're gonna have to answer that one now. Curious minds want to know. Psycat said 13 watching, 13 likes we'll get. Thank you. I got 15 here. We went up to 15 at some point today, and it's 15 now. Turner, sometimes you just want stupid, annoying people to go away. Absolutely. Not sometimes, all the time. Because they're just annoying. Uh, oh, that's where that went. Okay, so just sort that out later. Alexis T and Alexis W, exactly to the point. Hey? What? Am I missing conversations here again? Oh, I don't know. I'm losing myself. Jahed, what is your opinion on Franz Barden? Why has this come out twice today? That's weird. Is there like some people talking about Franz Barden in like everybody's threads at the moment? Franz Barden was a good magician. Nothing wrong with Franz Barden. Like anybody, he had his problems, but initiation into Hermetics is fantastic. Yeah, no problem. I think the work's great. The books are great. You can learn a hell of a lot from his books. You really can. Alexis at Castle, I heard it can be offensive to ask or have spirits target someone, even if they astral parasites. Really, I gotta say I haven't heard that one either. that kind of brings us back to, I think it was James who was talking earlier about um, some people saying that Lucifer will correct you if you want to curse somebody, and he'll kind of like put you on a different track or something. Yeah. Alexis 15. Oh, let me refresh. Thanks for confirming. Where was it confirming? Oh, I've missed something. I've definitely missed something. It's not fair. It's my chat screen, and I'm missing all the conversations. Jahed, do you have experience with Tiamat? If so, which effects did she cause? I have not had experience with Tiamat. Not, not a dragon I have connected with ever. Castle Alexis. W, some it is, but working with the Santa Muerte, it's normal. She is okay with that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see. I appreciate it. There we go. Okay, right. Okay. As long as you know what you guys are talking about, that's fine. Carry on. Don't worry about me. Funny little old man in the corner. Oops. Oops, we're up to 16 people now. Pastor, cursing can also put you in a wonderful, blissful rapture. Really? I suppose if you're swearing your head off for half an hour and you get a lot of tension and anger out, yeah, I probably could. Yeah. Jahed, with which dragon do you have connected and what were the effects? So yeah, no, this gets kind of, yeah, rather more personal than working with deities. I mean, when I talk about dragon, I'm talking about a personal um, my dragon, my dragon. It's likened to the Kundalini serpent, um, but you'll also then start getting allusions into the red serpent of the land and all of these various things. It's the current of power that moves through the land and moves through you. All of that stuff. No specific deities or uh, uh, spirits which are related to dragons. Castor, her scythe will reap the wheat. Why worry about what the wheat thinks? That's that's a bit of an alliteration there, I think. Um, right, Psycat for the 16 likes. So thank you very much. Lots and lots of sweeties. Alexis W. Jahed Tiamat is wonderful, powerful, motherly, chaotic, deep, transformative. Don't hesitate to reach out, work with her. There we go. Castle, that's a good one. I loved it. Jahed, thank you, Alexis. Okay, yay. Daymar, thanks you. Right, there we go. Oops. Is there? Is there? What? Is there what? You guys are starting to confuse me now. You're doing this on purpose, I know it. Okay, let's see. What are we doing? It's Sunday. Nothing happening after today. So I'm only going to start in September. I'm going to start doing the Crooked Path Masterclass. If anybody wants to get in on that, just remember, it's still on special. Ooh, wait, I don't think it's on special anymore. I think end of July. I think I set it till then. Let's have a look. Um, Castle said at Alexis, don't ask her for a lot. I tend to keep her altar and heal people. Something your hand has to do. The left hand path for the balance out the right hand path. Okay. Jahed, is there a Kundalini deity in the microcosm analog to the Kundalini in the microcosm individual? Shakti? Probably be what you're looking for there. Yeah, sorry, the special on the Crooked Path Masterclass has now finished. Um, so I'll probably run some specials between now and September anyway. If anybody, I don't know, if anybody's interested, you're gonna have to let me know. Alexis at Castle, indeed, thank you. Kerry and Alexis T. Curses made in haste lack discipline, lack foresight. Anything made in haste lacks discipline, wouldn't you say? Castle, just some Nagong and Qigong to help me with the Kundalini. Atlee, have you tried that? No, I haven't tried that. Using Nagong specifically for that, or Qigong. Zanka, during this period of Saturn retrograde, any advice on what to do and what not to do? I really can't tell you on that. It's not really my field, as you know. Astrologer, me not. Yeah. Better to ask an astrologer those questions. Astrologer. Alexis W. Losing the plot today. Um, I should be going, but thanks for the stream, everyone. Have a good one. And hopefully I'll see you next week, and hopefully I'll see you on Thursday. But we'll see. Have a good week. Catherine, hello, hello. Are you going to hold your class again after you do it in September? I'm interested, but can't afford it this time around. Yeah, the Crooked Path Masterclass, which is the foundational stuff training, that's going to be every year because that's the 8 month masterclass. So I'll do that once a year. At the moment, I've got the other one up, which is Beyond the Grimoire, which is a 4 month one. I'll probably repeat that every uh, well, 8 months then. I'll do something in between and then just repeat that on alternating basis. So yeah, it will be repeated, don't worry. Carry on next. Have a great week. Right, Carrie. Alexis T. On the other hand, I've heard that Beelzebub is excellent for cursing, the same way he is excellent for curing. See, I kind of lean when it comes to Beelzebub, I kind of lean more towards business because it's the function that I've kind of um, instilled in Beelzebub in the past, I suppose, which is why I kind of lean towards that thing. Um, so I wouldn't use Beelzebub for anything but business, to be honest with you. Lowton, hello. Um, Saturn is the planet of time, discipline, and restrictions. So if its energies are in reverse, I'd say it's time to start new things and take it easy. Start new things or not start new things? So I've got a feeling it's not a good idea to start new things, especially with Saturn. Right, there we go. Finish that one. Oh, look at that. We got up to 17 people today. Lowton start new things. Saturn is planet of restriction. It tells you where limitations are or should be. Thus, if it's reversed, it's a good time. It's a good time. Move past limitation logically. Still didn't answer the question. Okay, is it a good time to start new things or not to start new things? That's the what you get out. Because as far as I know, it's not a good time to start new things during the Saturn retrograde. But I could be wrong. So I'm just trying to get some clarity on that. Alexis T, yes, but I think Beelzebub has a strong reputation for bringing good health or bad health. Probably, yeah. As I say, these spirits do have variety of different things that they do. Um, but if we like I've worked with Beelzebub on business before, so I haven't even considered those aspects of Beelzebub. So I kind of relate Beelzebub to business. So yeah, but absolutely. Um, I'd say yeah. Castle's apologizing to Kerry. I'm not sure what for. Psycho. Are you sure Mercury's still not in the microwave? Because seriously, it's like if Saturn is made positive, then he can grant stability. All right. Lowton said, from what I understand, it's a time to start new things. Okay, all right. If Saturn's influence is strong without being in retrograde, then it's when you should be cautious about new beginnings. Okay. See, I kind of viewed that as because Saturn is about not just restriction but order, about doing things in the right way and precision and things like that, then it's a good time to start new things, because you've got that order and the precision and you can get the steps in place type of thing. Whereas if it's in retrograde, things are a bit out of whack. So I would have thought it's not a good time to start new things. Um, just keep plodding along the way you're going until it's correct course corrected sort of thing. But don't know. Although isn't retrograde for like a long, long time because it's one of those very slow planets. So look. The truth said, finish what you have started before starting new things. That's kind of what I would have actually um, said. Castle said thought she left. Oh, okay. Think about that. I totally off track this today. Let's have a look. Where's my retrograde planets? Um, Catherine, that sounds really funny. I imagine a demon dressed in a business suit carrying a briefcase. Yeah, well, why not? Isn't it one of those pictures of the there was some series years and years and years ago back about the devil carrying around a briefcase or something? Can't remember. Hang on. Saturn ends. Oh, ends December 10th. 130 days. Okay. Still not as fast as Mercury, but yeah, that's can't help that. Okay, where was I? Turner. You work with Beelzebub to help with business. Would you recommend? Oh, yes, absolutely, I would. Oh, wait, I'm frozen. Okay. Wait, no. The camera's going funny things. Hold on. Okay, now we're back now. Yeah, I would definitely recommend Beelzebub for business stuff. Um, Very good business partnerships. At Zanka, Lowton, at Kerry, Saturn mines limits. In retrograde, consider personal boundaries. Hone in on areas where you are not honoring your boundaries, perhaps. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Lowton said it is about order, but in retrograde, it's more about that particular stretch of time coming to an end. That makes sense. Okay. Hence why there's space for new things. All right then. Okay. Um, the truth. To be fair, I think all of the 72 carry around briefcases. Yeah. That, the funny thing is, I actually kind of see them as like a bike gang. So they've all got their battle jackets on with their emblem on the back and whatnot. Yeah. Andrea just been attacked by kittens. Good stuff. Miss Tibbs is even bigger, and no sign of contractions yet. Lowson, Beelzebub Business. That's a good name, I like that. Beelzebub Business. Yeah. Um, Castle, Machine Spirits, not liking you today. It's not the Machine Spirits. It's well, apart from the little green screen that happened there, that's me. My brain's just not following along, I don't think. Um, Andrea, I think he thinks she's going to have 4 kittens this time. Cute. We all want one. Okay, so you're gonna have to make more. Um, just make more. Lowton, I once saw someone who was selling soap with pentagrams on them, and the brand was called Beelzebubbles. Love it. Absolutely love it. That is brilliant. That's fantastic. Um, Andrea, tickle my feet while walking with cups of tea. Mm. And Castle, may Bastet watch over your cat's birth. Right, we've got 15 minutes left. Anybody wants to get their questions in? Turner at Lowton, I bet that was his idea. Probably, yeah. Psychac can start new things if Saturn is made favorable and domains of Saturn are pursued. A retrograde planet is 3 times more powerful, though unregulated. That's interesting, yeah. That's very interesting. Um, I think we kind of, well, probably not everybody, but a lot of us automatically think when it goes into retrograde, it's weakened because it's moving backwards. So to say that it's 3 times more powerful, but just unregulated is a very, very interesting stat. Yeah, no, that's cool. I like that. Catherine, I got an orange kitten in June. A wonderful addition to my pure black boy and tuxedo girl. Got the night with the moon and now the sun. That's nice. That's very cute. Um, Lowton at Turner, probably great branding idea. Earth in retrograde is when we need to really worry. Oh yes, yeah, I'd say. Um, that would be. Although, quite frankly, I think we're in retrograde at the moment. So we're just going backwards. Well, not the whole planet, but Lots of those people over there, the stupid ones. Um, Andrea, Catherine, awesome. So, can't interest you in a kids now or three? Yeah, can you? Yeah. Just put them in the put them in a box and courier them over to us. True. Yeah. Oh, this planet at the moment, really. Excuse me. Turner I'm in the US. We are definitely going backwards. Don't worry, it's not just the US. I've seen it in England, seen it a bit in Australia. It's a scary time, a very scary time. Carriot Psychat, I'm enamored with your knowledge of astrology. I'm a student myself. I would love to talk more in the Discord. Psychat is a very special person. Wonderful person. Alexis T at Lowton. Actually, I think Beelzebub once appeared in my dream after studying about him and mentioning his name in this chat. He was sitting on a throne, which I didn't know back then. Crack Bite, hello. You are very late. Going to end just now. What is scary? That how a lot of the world's moving backwards at the moment. We were just saying, we're talking about the retrogrades, and Lowton said that we have to really worry when the Earth goes into retrograde, but it kind of is with all of the stupidity that's going on and the backwards motion of many people. Yeah. Andrea, Leo, would love to send you a few kittens. I'd love it too. Unfortunately, we can't have any pets here. Um, Kerry Turner. Do you think the modern rise of fascism is an extinction burst? Do you think things will get better? I don't think it's an extinction burst. It's a repetitive cycle. You get the same things happening over and over and over again. It'll get better and then it'll get worse again. We'll go through another cycle eventually. The truth, the Earth is always in retrograde. I don't think it's actually really not as bad as it ever has been. I can't remember proper terminology, but basic terms, we've always kind of moved forward in intelligence and education and progress and things like that. We've always kind of moved forward, right? And I think it was the past generation, has actually taken a step back, which is completely unusual. Apparently, it's not something that should happen. Um, so yeah, no, it's only now things have taken a turn. Um, Andrew at Castle about the same, maybe a little bit better. I have found out what was bothering him. That's good. Crackbite, like people starting to believe in a flat Earth and stuff. Oh, come on, people love being stupid. But do we have to have them? Really? Do we have to have them? Can we just get rid of them? Um, no, it's bothering me. Castle, we're praying for him. Dum, dum. Lowton and Alexis T. The Mayan god Hunhal appeared to me in a similar way years before I found out about him. Okay. Castle. That's Andrea. Andrea to Castle. Um, right, that's that conversation. Isn't it a bit early for you to be so tired? Yeah, I didn't have my nap today. A bit tired. It's currently 10 to 6 p.m. here, but I did some silly things with dream magic, and now I think I've messed up my sleep and whatnot, so I've got to try and get that back on track. Lowton just made me curious more than anything because I'm just a skinny, pasty Brit. But did a Maya death god, or what did a Mayan death god want with me? It is an interesting question. Definitely interesting question. Um, Saturn is in retrograde. We sleepy. Yeah, blame it on Saturn. Why not? Crack bite. Maybe a daylight lamp can help in your winter time. Yes, it's the same time here, but pure summer hell heat. Oh, yeah. See, I don't. I'm actually. It's actually not a bad temperature at the moment here. I don't have my heater or anything, and it's pretty good. So happy with the temperature right now. Castle Lowton, they come to us, even if we don't know. True. Turner Lowton. Well, what did they want? That's a good question. Yeah. What did they want? You did say it, Turner. I don't really know. Never asked. Probably should. Might be a good idea. Yeah. Psycat weakness of a planet combusted, debilitated, defeated in a planetary war on SE degree with another stronger planet in enemy planet's house. The lord of the house it is sitting occupying is weak. That's just all over my head. Gone, gone. Don't understand. It's astrology just confounds me. Don't know how you people do it, really. That's why I have astrologers in my life. Um, Lowton, I guess, so yeah, I have a few suspicions as to why, but he hasn't really clarified anything himself. Uh, is it still hot in Europe? Because you're only supposed to get like 2 weeks of a heat wave, not this long. I thought it was finished now. So I got Sean Mumkerry, thank you, exemplary Master Johnson. Oh, it's an absolute pleasure, Guru. Um, Castle was it Apuk at Lowton or that one? At Lowton, if it's like Santa Muerte, they will make it clear to you. Uh, Apuk. I only realised it was him when I saw a coloured glyph of him years later, and it was the same colours, same pose, same everything. It's a bit hot still, but not as bad as it was. Kasim, Europe's climate is changing. In Eastern Europe, it is a lot more milder than it is in the West. It's interesting. Uh, Castle Dreams Vision and other things will come to you, Lawton. Pay attention. Excuse me. Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry. Um, Andrea, 6 weeks no rain. It is bloody awful. Oh, that's terrible. Crack bite finished. We're just getting started. June was so hot, the birds jumped out of their nests and died in the streets. Oh my God. Yeah, 42.5 degrees Celsius. That's not a good temperature. Lois, the only other dream I had that seems relevant was of being a jaguar. It was really vivid, and I could see my paws stretching out in front of me as I ran. Castle, I got statues of. I'm going to try and say this. McClan Tecutli. There you go. McClan Tecutli. And his lady, and Tezcatlipoca, because they came to me. I love those names. I love trying to say them. Like I did to you, Lowton. Carry a great bite. Sad for the birds here. Sim said, yes, I had a dream of being a jaguar many years ago. It was amazing. Crow is the jaguar. Yeah. Okay, you're gonna have to get this chatting quick because we're gonna end just now. Well, you can carry on the Discord if Lowton's there. I'm not sure if Lowton's there. Andrea, a bottle of water with stones in for the garden, please, people. Yes, for the bees. Help the bees as well. Sim early. Okay, I will see you soon. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Yeah, we're going to bring this to an end today. Lautrec Castle, I've been thinking of doing that. It's probably worth noting my birth date in the Mesoamerican calendar is 6 Rabbit, and McClantlecutli is the ruler of that day number. I am under the name Rahab. Oh, yeah, okay, so you guys can quite welcome to carry on the conversations in the Discord. That's why I've got it. Zanka, good evening. Thanks for joining, Zanka. Cherna, I'm off to work. Peace all. Have a good one. I'll see you next week. And Andrea said, and wasps, birds, etc. Castle recipe to all the gods and goddesses watch overall. At Lowton, the death god will guide you. Be safe. Right. Thanks everybody for joining. Crackbite said those names are so weird as they are cool. Yeah, I agree. I love it. Yeah. Right. Be well. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you all next week. Or hopefully, maybe I'll be able to catch you during the week if you can make it to the other lives, which are at 5 p.m. GMT. But otherwise, see you next week. Have a good one, and tally ho.